Welcome back to Limbus Company. Now, I did record this, but it got kind of corrupted. The audio was messed up, and I got a third of the way through LaMancha Land, and only to find out the audio was messed up when I finished. And that might be the worst part, or the worst part might be I spent all my lunacy on Reindeer Honglu, only to get Reindeer Ishmael. I mean, I got 2 Vovs and a he, but I mean, you know. But Reindeer Honglu, he seems really good, insanely solid. Insanely solid. Like this is a Clash winner. Like, I don't think you can really lose with this skill. This is like skill 3 of Full Stop Heathcliff, which I really like. I really like Full Stop Heathcliff. One of the better IDs on my team, more or less. Especially when you pair up with this Honglu, which is really debatable if you want to roll for the Reindeer Honglu. Obviously you should, if you don't have full stock, because full stock is like limited. But yeah, I would definitely recommend getting that Honglu. I mean, he's really good, and he's a charge. I mean, most charge are pretty good. I mean, they're self-sufficient, which is just insanely solid. Now, I read this all, so I know what's going on more or less up until a third of the way through. So I'll just kind of keep it brief, so I don't gotta read the paragraphs and paragraphs upon paragraphs again. Which is adventurous well. You remember the word, right? Affections must retain a head clear of corruption, speech free of deceit, and conduct guided by clemency. Show courage and adventure, and bear the pain of suffering. Pray and pray, forget not the mercy of the downtrodden. And last but not least, pursue the dream, even if it means wearing your life in the chase. Should you ever fail to stand by one of those tenants, I'll smack you guys upside the head myself. Still yourself away, and always keep moving forward. Is that not a threat most unfair? Alright, now we are here. You know, I really do like the design of this building. But the P Corp, P Corp's interesting. I mean, we don't know too much about them, at least I don't yet. Other than their buildings being indestructible. Allegedly, they weren't indestructible when this distortion came. Well, it's not a distortion. What's gonna come up? I mean, I'm not gonna spoil anything. Even though I'm so late that another canto is coming out in like 10 days. Which is kind of rough, I can't lie. That is, usually I'm a bit better than this. I mean, to be honest, with like the last canto, I was also pretty slow to it. No, trust. The next canto will be better. It will be better. And I'm just gonna be rambling on. I know it's probably gonna be the same amount of words if I read all these, but I think I'm low-key dyslexic. I'll be blunt. Blunt? I don't think, speaking of blunt, I don't think I have any blunt in my loadout. Maybe I should fix that. I don't think that really needs to be fixed. I don't think LaMancha Land has any blunt weak enemies in particular. Maybe the barber. Maybe she's weak to blunt. I would imagine. But mostly a slash and pierce loadout, which is good. Don't get me wrong. It's a good loadout. And it's not just one of those loadouts that I used to run that probably annoyed you. That's just the meta units. No, I mean, it looks like that at first glance. When I'm trying to run, I'll get to it when I get to it, but which won't be for a while, because the first like 5, no man, you gotta wait so long until there's like an actual fight. I mean, which is understandable, right? You're not gonna instantly start fighting. I mean, some cantos did that, but this is a lot of talking. I mean, it makes sense. This is a very lore-filled canto, telling you the nitty-gritty of a lot of things that needed answers. But this also asks the question, if we have Blood Fiend IDs, then will we have IDs that are almost human but not quite human? Whether that be distortions, whether that be something else that was human then turned to something else. Because that's what Blood Fiends are. Well, most Blood Fiends. The Blood Fiends that we use, at least, definitely. And that does bring up the question, will we get a distortion ID? We will, most likely. Most likely. I imagine we will, like, perhaps later on, maybe. maybe like an anniversary of the distortion detective, we get a distortion ID. That would be pretty on the nose. But what can you say? What can you do? What can you say? What would my favorite distortion ID probably be? Now, that's a good question. Honestly, it really depends on where we are. I doubt we're gonna get an A-left like distortion. At least not anywhere near down the line. But if it has to be something like Bob or lower, then I'd probably say I would love to see a screw this wall distortion ID. Actually, I just love to see a screw the wall ID in general. I could see it. I can see it right now. Tremor, and he has an effect on himself that he'd have an effect. Maybe have like a negative coin ID, a skill, have for a skill 3. That's like 2 coins or something, 1, 2 coins, and then he'd be able to reuse a coin. But he would have an effect that he just, I don't know, he'd have an effect on himself that he can revive or just become stronger. That'd be so goated. I mean, realistically, Screw the Swap is already an underrated ego. I mean, it's understandable. Everyone loves Regret. Now everyone loves Regret. Now that it's in Limbus company, everyone loves Regret. How the tables turn, I suppose. But, I don't know. I've always been a Screw This Wall diehard fan. Ever since, like, Uptie, and then he gets 2 AoE, and that's about it. That's so good. Or does he get coin power? I feel like he might get just coin power up, honestly. Or not coin power, but just base power up. He has such a very like, that's what I really like about Screw This Wall. It's somewhat versatile, right? It's blunt. It does 2 AoE, which is not crazy, but it is useful. If you're fighting an abnormality, you don't need like 7 AoE. But then again, it also does paralysis, and paralysis is good. It's always a nice thing that they inflict paralysis, especially on multiple things, whether it be multiple parts, multiple enemies. It's just always a very, very nice effect, which we haven't seen in a hot minute. I mean, like, what's the last identity that added a paralysis? You know, I'll be saying that, but then it'll be like Kurokuma Ishmael probably does, or Kurokuma Heathcliff might. You know, I might have to fact check that, but what I'm going to have to fact check is how free it was so far. I mean, maybe it'll change, maybe my luck will change, maybe karma will give me a good old nick. I mean, it already has with that. It was comedy gold, if I had to say. My first pull, 3-star, and it was a reindeer. It was the only other reindeer other than the reindeer I wanted. That is so rough. But more or less, what's going on right now is they're talking about the mission. They're like, oh my goodness, another golden bow. So true. It's been a while since these guys got the golden bow. Well, probably not like lore-wise, but like through. Was there only one? No, there's like. No, actually, never mind. There's like 2 mini cancers in between us, maybe, possibly. And one of them was a contract. Though, I did like the W Corp Express. I really did. And I did it. I honestly had no clue I had to beat that before I could play this canto. So I went in there and I was wondering, oh my goodness, how do I get to this canto? I didn't know. I googled it. I couldn't really find out if I needed to beat the Warp Express. So I just did. I mean, easy, right? That was so free, just win rating. But, I mean, to be fair, with the team I have, win rating is all I need to do. I mean, that's like most of Limbus Company anyways. But, still. Win rate is win rate is win rate. Even the abnormality fights, I still just win rated and I won. Which, I don't know, maybe they got better with the abnormality fights, with the AI. I'm not sure. Honestly, I don't know, I was rocking this canto so far. I like all the different mixers that you see. And I can't really from Marceau's chapter. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna be crazy. I mean, obviously Honglu's chapter. I don't really have any strong opinions on Honglu. He's a pretty great character for me. I mean, I like him. I like him more than like Dawn, but that's not saying very much. I guess I like more than like Otis and Ryoshu. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of Ryoshu. Like that's kind of a hot take. I know a lot of people are like diehard Ryoshu fans for reasons other than her character. I'll be blunt about that. People like Ryoshu for more than just her character. For some, I don't know. Limbus Company has a lot of gooners. Like a lot of gooners, and that is the only time I've heard about a Limbus Company fan in the outside world was they were a very interesting person. They asked someone out like in the double digits of times, apparently, allegedly. And that's just crazy. I get it. It's a Korean game with an audience that is probably mostly English speakers. Remember, honestly, I really like that design. But yeah, no, it's rough. It's rough. It's the vocal minority, probably, but even if, it's still fairly rough. Oh, I love their designs. This girl talks so much yapping, but she does like us. She will, which is honestly interesting. I mean, B Corp, I'm not really sure what to think about it yet. I don't know too much. I know that they're like interesting. They seem like a pretty good nest to live in. Realistically, you could either be like in W Corp. W Corp nest doesn't seem the worst either. I mean, yeah, you got to deal with the Warp Express and yada yada yada. But really, we're already fighting? No way. You got to deal with the Warp Express and all that jazz. Or did I skip one? I low-key have no idea. But this is my loadout. It might seem a little bit strange, but trust me. Trust me. When we get into a battle, I will preach to you the actual goatedness. And you could, this is like, oh, I think we did skip a dialogue. Did we? We must have. No, I'll preach the goatedness of this team, and it's like you could do this with the Reindeer Honglu. You definitely could. You definitely fit in here, and maybe just replace the what do you call him? My Heathcliff. Replace my Heathcliff with like another Heathcliff, or you could replace him with like Pirate Gregor, or okay, yeah, I skipped this. Okay, I'm crazy. Pirate Gregor, you could replace him. I think Pirate Gregor is such an interesting idea. Like we don't have too many like that. I mean, we do now. We have like him. We have Ryoshu with the shotgun, LCB, I think. Then we have this Honglu, which is actually kind of similar to Gregor in a way, like the how it's like your last. You have like a specific skill that one of your coins just do crazy damage, but it's not a percentage chance. Even though, oh, Parker, he was so good. He was so good. He probably still is pretty usable, but his skill 1 is kind of rough. Okay, she kind of glazes us, but only to butter us up. I really do like her design. Okay, don't. Up here, right when I'm trying to call him a design. I really like the design of everything in here, like the ivory kind of esque colors, and the yellow. White and yellow is such a good combination. Especially glowing. I rock with the glowing aesthetic. Definitely I rock with that much more than Virgilius aesthetic. I get it. Actually, I don't get it. Maybe I don't get it actually. But realistically, I would choose this design over this design. Like, yeah, he's kind of greasy, honestly. Virgilius, kind of chopped. I mean, you know how it is. You know, he kind of has a massive forehead too. He's also kind of a fraud. I mean, yeah, I mean, in the April Fool's update, he gets packed up by the sinners. Obviously, it's Chiron in his body, but still gets packed up. I mean, packed is what packed is, and he got packed.
황금가지란 게 처음에 그 연락을 받았을 때 얼마나 황당했던지. 황금가지가
하지만 그 순간 결코 거절하지 못.
An offer they couldn't refuse. Like, I still wonder what that is. Probably some information on, like, stuff. On, like, distortions and whatnot. Stuff. I should be more specific. Distortions, abnormalities. Oh, do they want to tell them about distortions? I don't know. Because, yeah, this is what I was literally going to say this. Mention abnormality, distortions, stare to Ishmael. And like, right, not everyone knows what abnormalities and distortions are, which is interesting. I mean, I'm pretty sure most people have witnessed or dealt with a distortion. I had to turn this audio up. Most people probably have dealt with a distortion, but like, not everyone knows what they are. I mean, like, they were around since like the dawn of time, allegedly. Don't quote me. But only started appearing way more, and only like frequently after the White Night Dark days. So, but I mean, that's been like a while since that happened, really. Even so, it's still understandable that they don't understand. I mean, do they? I mean, if we can understand it, how difficult could it be to understand? I mean, I guess we do have Dante, which is a special case. He is a phenomenon, as they say. The land where the happiest smiles bloom. Honestly, I'm really like kind of surprised they didn't bring Porcupus in this somehow. Like with that, like the amusement park Porcupus, right? And could have been really fitting for the flowers that do bleed aesthetic. I know that he doesn't do bleed. They don't do bleed, but wouldn't it make sense have it do bleed? I know. I'm not a very big fan. Like, bleed egos are so overdone in the battle pass now. We had like two cantos in a row. No, well, not canto specifically, but we had so much of egos that are just bleed. We have Merceau's, we have Concept of, we have the red shoes, we have both of the both of the Carnelas, and yeah, is that it really it? No. Yeah, no, I think so. Strange. Which is, honestly, thinking about it now, that's not terrible, but honestly, for that close, that back to back is a little bit crazy. I mean, I guess both of the both the Carnelas, they are like understandable that they're like both bleed, because one is bleed, the other has to be bleed too, or so they say. I wouldn't mind seeing like the battle pass have like two different like the premium be like Yang white and the Ying fish, and the bottom be like the Yang fish. Well, I'm butchering my words, but I did just wake up pretty much. I mean, that's the case for most times I record, but anywho. Yeah, they're just yapping. She's trying to like butter us up a tiny bit. Not crazy. She doesn't care that much. She heard good things about us though, which is nice. It is nice to know that the Limbus company is making a bit of a name for itself. I mean, we've had encounters with pretty important people, pretty powerful people. I mean, although Damien isn't probably known by like anybody, still, Damien. Oh, speaking of Damien, man. Oh my, a whole nother layer just gets added on. I have no idea. like sin. Sin is like an actual thing. It's like chi or kai or like ice. It's like that. It's like one of those kind of concepts in the Limbus company and Project Moonverse in general. I had no idea until just recently that that's like what Damien was using. Like the guys who jumped us in like the forest are like originally like the first level is like that they were using. I mean, it's bright, it's like light. You know, for all I know, this stuff could be it. They could be experimenting with it. That could be why the research department is so like vast and so important, and why they always have these. That could be that. You know, maybe. You know, honestly, theory crafting. I'm kind of spitting bars. Like, truthfully, I am making these. I'm paving the ground for P Corp knowledge. Not really. Yeah, so trying to make it a little like keep it hush hush. The golden bow. I mean, right? Realistically, you will understand even more why we shouldn't talk about the golden bow. I mean, people in there are so we got like some of the worst with us, like in terms of like going in there like as teams. But I mean, you know, that's how the cookie crumbles. You can't always have like the best teams. You can't always have like a color fixer on your team.
라만차 랜드로 들어가 그것을 최초로 만들어낸 무언가.
Yeah, they wanted to bring it to him, which is understandable. I mean, if it's something that can literally like damage, like you'll find out later, but if it's something that can literally damage their buildings, which is like one of their main like selling points of like living in their nest, then it's like, yeah, bring it back, experiment, make their buildings better. No way, Marcel. That's so. What a big brain thing to say. Honestly, I really do rock with Marceau's fit. The rusty belt, stitches. That, even though he like never has anything to put in. Well, maybe he does. I honestly, I got no clue. Sinclair's fit though. I mean, it fits him, I guess. Those little German boy, little what'd you call it? Overalls. There you go. Belt and overalls is interesting. Yeah. I mean, that's fair. I mean, you know, I don't get why they're so shocked that they're like, if they want that something wants something that they don't know, right? It's not really shocking. Especially when they said that the research wing is very, very big in this nest.
맞는 말이지. 그런 극악무도한 짓을 저지른 자에겐 마땅한 처벌이 내려져야 하는 법.
그리고 겸사겸사 다른 부서들을 제칠 만한 성과를 올려서 간만에 승진하면 더 좋고요.
Very true. I mean, who wouldn't want to like their department to be a little bit boosted?
어차피 우리가 받아들이냐와는 관계없이
I'm surprised no one like has tried to experiment on Dante yet. I mean, maybe they haven't. I just don't remember. But he's relatively looked at like pretty normally, surprisingly. But like, I mean, not looked at normally. I guess he's looked at strangely, obviously, but relatively in the city, you would expect someone to like mug him every like 3 minutes. But you know, I mean, they would fail. And that makes you wonder how strong Dante is. Oh my, the Project Moon verse in general has like some interesting scaling. Project Moon scaling, like that is definitely a conversation starter. I mean, their durability wise isn't that crazy. I mean, I feel like it's pretty good to say that most like higher up characters are above city block level, because Tom Mary, which was like an urban something, pretty low on the ladder. They were like destroying just buildings, like city blocks, pretty easily, like obviously, right? And then you have all the augmentations and all like the abilities.
그
Like,
위험
right?
성장세가 가파르다고
Project Moon is mainly a
곳곳에서
hacks type thing.
조금씩 주목받고 있어요.
Like,
지금 이 순간에도
let's say
여러
Goku. Let's say Goku
해결사들이
comes in Project Moon.
라만차랜드의 터벌을 위해
I'm using Goku, not Vegeta, because Vegeta would probably have a better chance at beating Project Moon than Goku, surprisingly.
라만차 랜드를 통일할 사람들은 우리 말고
Because I say that because, let's say, I mean, abnormalities, you can't kill them. They become an egg, right? And they have infinite durability, I imagine? Or at least durability that is surpassing this verse. But you can't really
돈과
confirm or
명예를
deny, so let's just say infinite durability,
언제나 마르는 법.
but only in egg form. That is kind of nasty. And then you have, like, let's say Blue Star,
조만간
who has
황금가지라는 곳에
mental
관심을
hacks,
가질
I
수도
guess,
있어요.
right? What would you call it? I guess psychic hacks.
같은 것이 있으면
You can, like, one-shot most people, if they aren't, like, high mental fortitude, which is why I say Goku, not Vegeta. Because Vegeta probably would be able to be fine against Blue Star, against, like, any abnormality that does, like, mental damage, except, like, maybe censored.
이번에도 이야기의 핵심을 잘
But
파악하여
Goku, it's really anyone's guess if Goku gets sucked into Blue Star or not. And if he gets sucked into Blue Star, will he die? Maybe. Maybe.
다행인 일이죠.
But
서로가 찾고 있는
other than
게
Blue Star
아직까진 서로의
Arbiters.
가치 있다고 판단하고 있으니까.
and I guess W Corp weapons, those are probably the strongest things in the verse.
그래서 당신들도
Yes.
황금가지에
Yeah,
대해
physically
알아봤고,
stronger things,
저희도
but
라만차랜드를 만든
that I don't
무언가에
think,
대해서
realistically,
하는
it's
거죠.
not that strong of a verse, like physically and resistant, like defensively.
아는 놈이 많을수록 정보는 가치를
Like most of these are just normal people, right? Yeah, maybe they're a little faster, like way faster than normal people, like
그럼
yeah,
그렇지.
and way stronger than normal
난또
people. Yeah,
기념품이라도
but
챙겨주는 줄 알았잖아. 괜히 따로 부른 게 아니었네.
when it comes down to it, what is bringing these guys back to life over and over and over gonna do against like a Cyberman?
당신들에게 거는
Nothing.
기대가 커요.
Absolutely nothing. And they're just gonna get blitzed. And speed. Oh, speed is also another thing. I guess warp trains can put debatably. You can put like some are like people are pretty high in speed, like the purple tier.
불사하시는 분들이잖아요.
Not speed isn't her strong suit, but it's like going around. She has very good movement. I mean, not everyone has that. She probably is like the best, one of the most versatile movements in the Project Moonverse. But even saying that, there is arguments to be made that, like, I don't know, there are faster people in here. Obviously, there probably are. We just haven't seen yet, and we don't know like half the colors. Like, and some colors are just barely above grade 1, right? I don't know. I would imagine that's the case since Vermilion Cross got wiped by a Blood Fiend. Don't matter what Blood Fiend is, it's still a Blood Fiend. Blood Fiend is what Blood Fiend is, and that's a Blood Fiend. Got wiped by a Blood Fiend, and then he got control him. So clearly he wasn't insane. Like, we don't really know how high the Blood Red Knight goes in terms of Blood Fiends, though.
믿어주시게.
I mean, she's like the one that everyone mentions, but oh my goodness, this is such a dialogue-filled just node. Insane. Absolutely diabolical.
그 짧은 시간에 사람 하나 다루는 법을 정확하게
Absolutely destroying Don Quixote. Right? Then you have like all these, like, this could be, actually, what is that? What symbol is that? I don't know. Like, you could think this could be like the, that could be the Indigo Elders symbol for all we know.
저 녀석이 너무
Unless we do know that isn't, and we do know his symbol, but I don't know.
슬슬 이동할까요?
떠나세.
We also don't really know Virgilia. Well, do we? Maybe we do.
안타깝지만 안내는 없어요. 여기
Oh my, I honestly can't wait to get to like the fighting parts of this canto. I really hope the bosses aren't like, I fought like one of them. I fought like the girl with the umbrella in Mirror Dungeon once, a single time. She was pretty easy, but I don't know. I really couldn't tell you, because I really hope it's not just like the same thing as how it was like last canto, where it's not too hard until you get to like the first boss, and then it's easy. That's kind of like how it was for Ricardo, for most people, even though I had like a super easy time with Ricardo. It was Dead Rabbit Heathcliff, which absolutely whooped me, and I didn't have much problem with okay. I really didn't. It was like 2, maybe 3 attempts, and I got him. It was pretty easy. But the first boss, the first is usually the worst, is usually how it is. Which, you know, what can you do? Except for trial and error. But if the first boss is, what would the first boss be? Probably the barber. Which is my guess. Oh, they're not showing us the interactions. They're just getting us into a fight. A gulp. Yeah, these guys are like, they think we're amateurs. They're like, they don't want amateurs to go. Not for like selfless reasons. They really don't care about like if we die or not. They probably want us to die, but they just don't want us to like get in the way. Look at these. Look at these. Obviously, these are made for like countering blood fiends, fang hunts. They hunt their fangs, right? Insane skill. Inflict 2 rupture count. And it has ability not to consume rupture count. Inflict fragile, 3 rupture, blah 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 blah. Deal more damage. It's crazy. It's insane. But you know what else is insane is this Loto, because this is a Loto built on self-sustainability. Oh my goodness, you're getting hit by it. Oh, you're getting hit by that first coin. This Loto is based on self-sustainability, right? Why have these two? Poise is a very just good, sustainable like source, especially for these guys though. And then you have these guys who, yeah, they do like rupture, obviously, but they're mostly about speed and using their skill 3. And then you have this guy, right? Obviously, Yisang is a little bit more about sinking, but it's really just his ammo. He cares about his ammo, which is usually never like below, like usually never that low. His skill 3 is absolutely insane, especially for human targets. It's really good, and it's really good to just have a sinking unit in general in your Loto, so that humans will get like their sanity down and roll less heads, and it's just good for everything. Holy, we are demolishing them. I do like these guys' weapons quite a bit. The hammer, is it a hammer? Yeah, it is a hammer. Look at the detail on it. But they kind of remind me of Ufi. I still don't know how to pronounce it, which is kind of tragic, but look at that. Look how good his skill 1 is. Heathcliff has such a nice skill 1. Usually, like, it does consume ammo a lot, though, which is a bit rough. And look, do you okay, that was a bad example, but like, look at this. This is gonna reuse one of her coins, like her last coin. That's super good. Never mind. Prove me wrong. Fool me once, shame on you. And you know, usually, look at that, man. Usually I'm not the biggest fan of like characters who have like 1 coin skills, because you would think that they're doing less damage than 3 coins, but ultimately they aren't. They're doing more damage. Somehow. I mean, I guess it makes sense because they roll insanely high, but so it just looks better on paper. But still, 300? I mean, like, if you have a 3 coin skill, you're not doing 100 per each coin. That did over 300. I guess it was a critical, but He is so good for building up his poise though, especially because he'll use his skill too,
그 정도 화력으로
like
우리
like
사무소에
when
막을 수
Honglu
있을
does
줄
something
알았냐?
with resonance, and
가운데
then
무기까지 주어서 철수하자고.
it'll just be nice. It'll just be better. This isn't repeating, eh? No? No. Okay, good. How confusing. Now that I don't have like the things ahead of me like locked, it's kind of confusing.
최선을 다해보지.
I do like their like.
말은 듣지 않다가
Okay, we are not getting their dialogue, but they're just like make sure that we're not gonna like get in their way, more or less. And I do like their drip a lot. I do like their weapon too. They're very good. I mean, I've never really used the Fang Hunt. Is that really what it's called? I could have sworn the Honglu had a different name, but I never really used those IDs. 40.
한 점만 노린다.
Wow. 36. Not as good, but 100 damage.
아까처럼만.
Wow.
그럼 이번 전투도 쉽게.
Turn 1, 100 damage. Like, wow. I don't even think that consumes ammo, does it?
사기가 꺾였군.
Let me check.
공격해보자.
Because I believe it doesn't.
숨 참고 있을 때 말 걸지.
Wait, hold on. What? Yep, yada 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 blah, 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 blah. Oh, spend 1 ammo. Okay. Yeah, no, when it's like this, it doesn't. Yeah, okay. If it didn't have... If it has enough, like, those ulterior bullets, then it does use ammo. Which is really, really good. Really good.
이러면 쏠 수 있죠?
Insanely solid.
방금 건 제대로 한 건 했어. 돌아가면 맥주라도 사야겠는걸?
What is this? Tragic. No, he's such a good unit for just building up poise. 3 poise, 2 poise count, and you're like, right? Like, oh my. And Honglu, he can just reload, which is insanely solid. What was that 3 tails roll? That was nasty. That was so traumatizing, for lack of better words. See, this skill 1 is just like that was a skill 3 and that's a skill 1. Like, yeah, I know XYZ, but still insane. And most of these do have pretty good skill 1s, right? His skill 1's really good.
돌아가면 맥주라도 사야겠는걸?
Their skill 1s are insane for damage. Skill 1's really good, really good. Both are my insane skill 1s. This guy's skill 1 isn't the best, but it can get way better. And it's not the worst skill 1 in the world either.
나가줄게.
Wow. 100 damage. 101 damage to be exact. Is nice. Is really nice. Sadly, they're only 2-star. Like, I only have 1 ID and it's a 2-star. I mean, it's a Rupture. I do like Rupture. Rupture is probably my favorite, like, status effect. Besides, like, Poise. And I do like things that rely on, like, speed, though. That is probably my favorite archetype. Because, like, they're the only ones that can really get their, like, their best case scenario out of Mirror Dungeon.
그 정도 화력으로 우리 사무소를 막을 수
Except
있을
if you
줄
get
알았냐?
lucky with, like, a bleed unit.
저놈들 무기까지 주어서 철수하자고.
Bleed units, they're really good. I mean, charge units are insanely good too. Those also get their best case scenario pretty easily. This guy.
와, 여러분 보여? 이쪽은 이번 임무에서 내 보조를 맡은
I know something is going to happen to him. It's gotta happen. There's no way he's escaping the Blood Fiends alive.
착장을 보면 알겠지만 나랑 똑같이 서부에서
I
온
mean,
해결사들이
he gives us a little drop. I mean, I didn't know this before, but apparently, like, I mean, yeah, I know, obviously, different directions, right? Different costumes, but I don't know. Maybe he's just talking about that. Like, obviously, like, if they know her uniform, they know that she's from the West. Not that like the West has a specific type of like uniform,
그래, 맞아.
but I would imagine it probably does
유난히
because
편이긴 하지만
they do have a similar like color scheme.
그래도 자, 홀라 씨, 우리 팬 여러분들에게
싱크 옆에 스바이어
Sinkins away. So true.
한 자리에서 협력하는 것을 보게 되다니.
What great, glorious, brand, blood pumping feeling this is. My heart's pounding madly as though exploding an eye.
매일 영상으로만 보는
I rock with this too. I do like how
자들이 피규어로만 보던
there's just so many different fixers. Like, who is this guy?
걸어다니고 이야기하는 걸 눈앞에서
That's the
보고
question.
있다니.
Who is this man? Like that's the Barfist, I believe. But he, right? So drippy.
구독 중인 해결사 잡지에
They
나온 해결사들은
outdone
대부분
themselves with like
거의 다
designs for
모조리
this
알고
canto.
있네.
Insane. That guy just looks pretty chill too. I mean, not chill. He looks fucking crazy. But right. Yeah.
어디 보쇼 어디? 아이, 벌써부터 림버스 컴퍼니를 알아보는 해결사가 있단 말인가?
Don Quixote. Yeah, I don't know. I rock with this canto so far. Obviously, it's a lot of reading, which is brutal. I mean, no. It's rough, but it isn't rough. Like, right? You gotta read to have more information. And that's just the truth.
등록한 지 얼마 안 되는 조그만
Now, the weapons, I do. Do we rock with Don Quixote's lance? I do.
다행이네요.
I especially rock with Honolulu's, like, what would you even call that?
저분들이 누구인지는 마침
I don't
제가
know.
알고 있거든요.
I don't know, but I do rock with it.
무엇이? 본인도
The most
모르는
boring weapon
해결사를 안단 말이오?
would probably have to be, in my opinion, would probably have to be like Otis's. I do rock with like, I know Merceau's is kind of boring too, but it really suits him. Gregor's is just a goat.
아까부터 계속 마주보고 있는 중이야.
But my least favorite probably gonna be Otis
눈싸움이라고도 부르거든.
and Ryoshu until her blade gets like some special meaning, which it will.
이젠 저희 쪽으로 걸어오고 계시는데요.
Sinclair's, I mean,
손이라도
it's
흔들어야 할까요?
not the worst. You know, it's not the worst. It could be better. It could be worse.
그럼 이렇게 된 거.
To be blunt.
책잡이 자켓 다시
To be
쳐봤죠.
blunt, and it is blunt. Or it's probably just slash of blunt. Honestly, I don't know. I never really used base Sinclair. My Sinclair that I used was like maybe it was Zoe. No, yeah, maybe it was Zoe Sinclair.
바로 앞까지 오셨어요.
Which is not the best decision. Maybe I should have used Mirage Sinclair, but that's fine.
바로 6탄전이야.
I never had a problem with the early game Limbus company.
그랬냐? 어?
With my G Corp Gregor, my R Corp Heathcliff, my Rodeo Kurkumo, the Blade lineage he sang,
아,
and Ting Tang Holo.
여러분에게 이렇게 빠르게 소개해
Maybe there's another unit that was in there, but I can't remember them,
인사시켜드릴게요.
which is tragic. I was the 3-star spammer.
동생
I never had to reroll though. I never had to reroll the account, which is interesting, which is good. You know, I never would have anyways, but
동생이요?
his little sister.
하면 몰라볼 뻔했지 뭐야. 마지막으로
Oh
보았을
my.
때만 해도
Honolulu's Canto bleeding into this one. I really like the background here. Like they've done such an amazing job with the art in this canto, and since like the next canto I feel like it's taken quite a long time, it'll probably be the same thing. We're just gonna have amazing art, amazing character design. I mean, Project Moon has always had really good character design, but I feel like this canto just kind of does way better job than like a lot of other cantos. I mean, to be fair, a lot of other cantos, I could say Canto 1 and 2 and like 3, and that would be like most of the other cantos. But I really like the design of Canto 1. To be honest with you,
세력이
I know.
아니시춘.
Canto 1 is probably like one of the no, it's not the worst. Canto 2 is like the worst canto, but
그래 버릇이
Canto 1 just is so goated to me. I don't know why. I do know why. It's because Gregor. He's such a good center. He needs another canto though. Like, he needs another thing to focus on. Like, I know sometimes he gets it a little bit, but
내 이름은 로즈. 됐어? 그럴
such hospitality. And I'm not such hospitality. Jae-chun gave a side-eye before dismissively cutting us off. Well, poor Gregor. At least Gregor got to introduce himself.
아, 이제 보니까 키만
Or
작은
be
게 아니라
introduced.
시춘. 나처럼 친구들도 많아졌구나.
Yeah.
새로 사귀었니?
Interesting. A lot of missing person posters, obviously. Yawn. Missing person. Yeah, I mean, is that really such a mystery though? Like, if you have a backstreet, so you're like, is this really doing that much more damage than a normal backstreet? I mean, yeah, it's taking up like land space, but so.
정말 친구라고 생각해서 그렇게 묻는 거야?
I guess it is also growing in danger. I mean,
그리고 다른 오빠
that
언니들에
too,
비하면
exponentially growing.
그리고
How rough,
가족
man.
중에 몇 명이 여전히
Absolutely
오빠를
evil.
찾고 있는 건 알아?
Like, what did Hong Lu? Like, I get it, obviously. Rich family. They all they want to kill each other. Have like their last, like, be the last one of the family. Have like all the gold. But
그 망나니 오빠를 만나고
Hong Lu doesn't even really
멀쩡한
seem to care about that. I mean, yeah, he probably also just passively just gets infinite money anyways. But I don't know. I am kind of hyped to see Hong Lu's like canto. Like, he's not the biggest
시춘. 아까 들었는데
brightest
이곳 일대는
center in my
위험하다는 것
mind.
같더라고.
Like,
사람들이 실종되기도 하고.
I'd probably rather like
너와
see a
이분들은
Ryoshu
안전하게
canto
지내는 게
just
어떠니?
so like Ryoshu gets some character development. Well, she had honestly she is like the one who needs it the most. Rodion, they give Rodion character development, but it doesn't hit her quite right, honestly.
At
least me, that's my opinion. Like, yeah, they turned her into a pretty good center, but like realistically, after everyone gets their canto, she's gonna be put like on like the bottom of the totem pole again. Which is understandable. I mean, the cantos will get better as it goes on, as it has been.
참가자라니?
Speaking of going on, I'm thinking about Canto 4. Like,
네가
why
이런 걸 참가할 필요는 없지 않니?
do we have like
뭘
only
인상도
one
필요할 리도 없고.
K Corp ID? Like, what is up with that? Yeah, 3 Rose Spanner, 1 K Corp. I'm not dissing the Rose Spanner. I really like them. They're probably one of my favorite little offices that we've been shown in a hot minute. Them and Fire Fist are probably my favorite offices that I've seen in a while.
그럼
But still, like, I don't know. Are we gonna get Cloud Town before we get another She or K Corp ID? Probably.
안녕하십니까?
Cloud Town. Honestly, I'm surprised we didn't get Cloud Town IDs. Like, they would be like, they'd be Pierce and Poise. That's what they would be.
오랜만이에요, 웨이 씨. 아직도 시춘의 호의.
Which they'd be pretty interesting, right? Like, it would tell you the story of like how their village got attacked by the gnomes and by Santata.
여전히
I
아가씨.
think that'd be a pretty good little ID. Here's the butler. Absolutely dripped out. Absolutely dripped out.
안쪽은 위험할 수
I really do like love red and gold, and especially red, gold, and black.
우리랑 같이
Works so well
다니는
together.
건
I mean, Hong Lu unintentionally does have that style with like the red and black. No gold though.
도련님은 여전하시군요.
Oh, let's take this. Oh, let's take this.
아니, 서로의 목표에만 집중하고
How
여기서 헤어지는
tragic.
건 어때?
Has really odd colored eyes.
가만 보니까 그쪽들은 불필요한 관심을 받는데
I feel like a lot of people in this canto have had really strange colored eyes. Whether it be like the
나를 사용하게 다니는 걸 선호해서
P Corp girl. Her eyes were cool. I like them.
안에서 구태여 아는 척하지
Those are
않으면 더 좋고
interesting.
그래. 시춘 네가 원한다면
Man, it's just like a thing of the Hong Lu family.
오빠가 적어도 전보다는
Oh man, I hope we can't catch a break. At least he's better than the last time they met. I guess. I mean, what was he worse last time they met? What does that mean? Was he still like too whimsical?
그렇구나. 네 눈엔 아니었나 보네.
Oh, so rough.
지금 만난 게 나라서
Poor
다행이지.
Honglu, man. Poor Honglu.
다른 언니 오빠
He does nothing but
그 곱상한
he's
모습
nothing but kind and
바닥을
just
둥글고
terrible.
있어.
I mean, it's understandable, right? In the city, if someone's kind and is always kind, you might as well take your anger out on them, I suppose. Or so they say. Or so they say, not me. But holy shimoly yapathon.
뭐
This is such a yapping chapter. I mean, to be fair, this is like I do like how it goes, like getting up to it. I do rock this canto. I know I'm such a hater.
아니 그게 저
I guess it isn't like a. Oh, never mind. That's just your uniform. I am so stunned. That isn't a Merceau thing.
뭘 쳐다보는 거지? 동이라도 팔아나?
Well, I guess that's like where some of them do. Some of them where Heath Coast just doesn't have that, which is fair.
여전히 변한 게 없네요.
예전에도 저렇게 까칠했다는 거야?
She was always so spiteful.
아니요.
Spiteful? No. Gianna's always been and still is my most amicable sibling. I must ask, for I have cause to believe that maybe misheard still is. Was it?
맞아요.
Yes.
저것이
That was. Yiseng's expression grew, complicated, messing emotions as he looked to the ground, and it would speak further. Oh yes, let's go
이제
to the meeting.
들어가야 할 것 같아.
Yeah, we should probably join them. We probably should, right? That's kind of wouldn't be a bad idea. No, would not be a bad idea at all. Ooh, such good art. Like, such good art. Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're almost in. We're almost in it. We're almost in it. Oh yeah. Oh yes. That is. Oh, are we even gonna see it, or are we just gonna go into battle with him? Oh, bro, no. How tragic. You know, to be fair, alright, so what they do here is they're explaining, they're giving like a summary of what's gonna happen. And then this guy is
적군들에게 본때를 보여줘도
making
될것
fun of
같아.
Don Quixote, and Don Quixote's like, you need to be honest. I thought you were honest. And this is so rough. This is so rough. Neutral, right? Or maybe I should use this.
술진이다.
내가 응원하는 게 도움이 되겠다.
It did not. It wasn't on hit. It never hit me. No. Oh wait. So is this just on you? Camille. So let's see his little build. Right, poise and speed. Okay, that's interesting. He inflicts like poise or rupture by his speed. Interesting. That is insane. There's not really much I can do here. Realistically. Okay. Let's go. Oh.
최선을 다해보자. 아이씨, 방금 벌레 말은 듣지 않는다는 사람 누구야?
술진이다.
So true. How rough, man. This fight. Wait. What's the status channel there? Oh, who knows? Poor Don Quixote. Bro did her apps just like so dirty. Like she is on life support. She would not make it if like Dante wasn't Dante.
아직
'Tis not the end. Oh, what a tragedy. What an absolute tragedy. Alright, hold on. We got some breaking news. Now, I'm so late on this canto that the next canto did drop. Which is pretty tragic, but that means that we can actually get some new IDs. Now, I'm not really sure. I know these are probably going to be focusing on haste and rupture. Other than that, I have no clue. Maybe they're not going to be haste and rupture, you know? There might be something different. But, coin power for some of poise. Poise. Okay. I like poise. And rupture. So poise count, rupture, and a new thing, serpent's arm. So I was kind of right with purportier. I mean, maybe not exactly, but it was close enough. A bit of rupture count. That's pretty good skill 1. Gain 3 poise and 2 poise count identical. What the hell? On use, if target has rupture, gain 5. What? Okay, that is a very, very, very solid effect. Now more coin power, more poise potency, some rupture count, potency, right? And what is this? Now bonus staff, death, right? And when getting rupture triggered by a critical hit on target, lose 1 stack. When losing a stack due to this effect, gain offense level down or defense level down for a stack. Okay, so basically what you're doing is, if this effect is docked to 0, take gluttony damage, you can rupture potency on self. Okay. So this is interesting. You debuff enemies that have rupture if you do a crit, but you also do gluttony damage, which is interesting. Very. And you do add 30 plus rupture to 10 potency to reuse this coin at one time. Now, the other seed branch, or the other Hyoshu pack, did reuse coins, which I suppose that was their main gimmick. Rupture and coin reuse, not exactly speed. I suppose the rabbits were just fast, so this makes sense. But interesting. They're really going all out for giving these units 2 unique effects. Now, skill 3, a 1 coin, like I predicted, attack weight. Now, looks very solid. Insanely solid. Intimidating damage, very point potency on self, first potent target, max 200%. Oh my goodness, that is nasty. It has that and deal plus 100% damage on critical. Holy moly. You do Venom, reduce target by 2, reduce that by 3, inflict 2 plus count, which is really, really insanely solid for inflicting rupture count, and inflict death ray venom. Okay. Defense, we have a yes. Alright, that's not bad, right? It would be a bit better if it was a clashable counter, but clashable defenses are not that bad. Gain super tan, so it's pretty good. And unbreakable coin, which is also just very good. Interesting. Now, that was someone who was more hyped for it, but we also have Rodion, which is probably similar, right? Rupture, and more rupture. No count, so he's not as good as Gregor on skill 1. At least in my opinion, I value count more than I value potency. And then 2 count, pretty much the same thing Gregor did. Potency, count, consume and reuse a coin, and inflict death ray venom. Interesting. So, these oddies seem like they're going to be focused on having a slow startup, but once you get a lot of these Serpent's Arm on you, you're going to be getting a lot of poise potency, and then it's going to ramp up from there very drastically, which is very, very solid, especially mirror dungeons. But, well, not even really in mirror dungeons, I'd say. That's more just so in a long fight, which is good. I like these IDs that are not just mirror dungeon focused, although you can say that, but you also can't, because inflict 1 rupture, inflict 1 rupture. And then 1 rupture count, and then another hit that bursts that rupture. It's you know, mirror dungeon IDs like always. But unfocused volley. Skill, each attacks a random enemy among his targets. First coin always targets the main. All hit effects do damage dealt to the things that they hit. Alright, interesting. See, that is very solid. Attack weight 3, and then a 5, plus 4, plus 4, plus 4. Very solid. And you gain Serpent's Arm, gain Clash Parry plus Serpent's Arm on self. So, theoretically, you could use a skill 3, and does it go down? It would go to 2, but you gain 2 Clash Power. And that's just, right? It boosts that by 2. That should be very, very solid. But you gain 2 count of poise, you gain 2 potency of poise, you gain 1, inflict 1 rupture count, on crit you do a stat, and reuse up to 2 times her skill. Okay, this becomes a 3 coin to a possible 5 coin with 3 attack weight. Is kind of insane. I'll be honest, that is insane. Okay, both these IDs are very, very, very insanely solid. No, I was kind of hyped for Gregor, but I'm kind of wanting Rodion now. Are we gonna get them? Probably not, but I can just shard them. Worst comes to worst, I can shard a single one. But maybe I'll get them. Maybe I'll get one. No. Yes, no, maybe. Oh. Oh my.
이 정도면 사람 팔이 흠없.
Oh yeah, I was hyped for Gregor, but no, I'm hyped for Gregor. I definitely get the design more. Although they both have very somewhat similar designs, although Rodion's more covered up. But that is insanely solid. You know, 2 temples, and you know I could pull more for Rodion, but I honestly think I'm gonna do some dispensing. I mean, at the same time, I literally have a grand total of 0 Rodion shards, and that's kind of crazy. But 211, right? Use. You gotta go big or you gotta go home. You know, this could be terrible, but oh, and it wasn't. You love to see it. Okay. Okay, now we're talking. Now we are talking. Oh my goodness. Oh, I forgot. Well, we'll get her when we get her, but that is rough. Oh, and I don't have enough Gregor. I have exactly 1 Gregor, so I can't bring him up to tie 4. Yeah, that's... If I only had a way to, like, exchange shards for other shards, that would be super lovely, but... Actually... You know what? You know what? We're not out of luck. We are not out of luck. We get Lint and Gregor, you know, that could save us. But oh, tell me this isn't a nasty pull. Oh my goodness. I mean, that's not the worst. I mean, I feel like we're gonna get a Faust ID later down the line, something very good. Please be Gregor. Oh no, that's not good. This is our last chance to up-tie for Gregor. Now this could be very, very solid. Even without his up-tie, he's very good. I mean, 1 coin skills are very solid, I've been finding recently. Even if it's not going to be able to be the best that it is, oh my goodness, that is extremely rough. Yi Sang. Oh my, I already had a solid amount of Yi Sang, but you know, we're not complaining. So if we go back to here, we will use Gregor. It must happen. Right? 41. Do we have more? No. That should be fine though. He'll level up. Up tie 1. Up tie 2. And the story. The new art. This art is very good, but I definitely prefer this art very much. Very much so. Although, they're both pretty good. But, no, that's... We pull, and we get Gregor, and we do the shards, and we get enough for Rodion. But we don't, because we had to wait like a week. And that's fair. That's fair. To be fair, they gotta make their money, so that is very fair. But that is also kind of heartbreaking at the same time. But yeah, we have another ID. I mean, it kind of throws my little hodgepodge team into like a mostly rupture team, which realistically at that point I should just be running a rupture team in general. There is a solid amount of rupture IDs that just don't need that just fit the build, right? You have Rodion, you have... Yeah, I might kind of just do that. High key.
마음을 정리하고 싶을 땐
Just do a little Rupture Team update. Then just run with a Rupture Team, you know? Or not a Rupture Team. Maybe Rupture Team? I don't know. We'll continue with the team we're using right now, which was... Where was it? It was testing and that Gregor and... Yeah. No, it should be good. Alrighty. Back into the canto. Where we left off. Dawn got absolutely destroyed by... What's his face? Not even remember enough to remember his name, which is brutal. But...
주변
Okay.
구경이라도 가볼까?
I can actually see the story again. Finally. Although I'm not going to read it because it's a lot of
가만히
dialogue.
있어라.
Way too much dialogue for me
마지막
to
전달
read.
사항이 있으니
But,
교육 같은 건 좀 회사 측에서 제공할
and at the same time, that poll's been pretty good. I mean, first poll, right, didn't get anything. Second poll, we got, or was the first poll we got Greg? No. Oh, that's, I don't remember, that's kind of rough. But,
우리에게 정보를
at the very same time, we did get Gregor in like 20 polls. And that's very solid.
그 정도면 녹음이 아니라.
물론
And speaking of solid, classic Distortion Detective reference. You gotta love it. Kind of looked like it was flipping for a minute. Very, very happy that we get to see some Ezra and Moses right now. I mean, it's only a matter of time before we get the Source Detective IDs when we do get to like further enough in the anniversary and into the story. At the same time, it would take a while because they are so high up in the power scale. But even then,
잠깐만요.
hopefully sooner than later.
속이면
I mean,
저번에 만난 게 제
how high are we up in the power scale? Anyways, we're like,
속이었으니까.
we have Earl King Heathcliff, we have Sinclair with the mark of
처치했는가?
Cain. We have decent IDs that are pretty strong. We have Don Quixote as a blood fiend. We have, right? I mean, those are the highest that we have, and even then, it's not the like the craziest. But I don't know. I think Earl King Heathcliff and Cliff Sinclair, they're probably. I mean, in their lore, they'd probably be pretty strong, but I don't know, right? If we're using that same Earl King Heathcliff, which I can't say if we are for certain. I mean, it doesn't make sense if we are, but maybe it does. I really don't know how strong Earl King Heathcliff would be. I mean, yes, he can make like an infinite army of Mirror World Heathcliffs and whoever he really pleases, but that's to an extent, right? I don't think he could just bring like arbiters, and if he could, I mean, surely, if he could, he would have, perhaps,
연구를 진행 중이다.
right? Is there an arbiter
일반적으로
Heathcliff?
알려지지 않은 정보를
Would there be an
우리에게
arbiter
제공할 수
Heathcliff?
있다는 뜻이겠군.
Probably not. There'd probably be like Claw Heathcliff if we get any. But I think Gregor would get the Claw ID. But you know, now that I think about it, Heathcliff could make a pretty good Claw ID. But Gregor just fits too well. And now they're going over the hierarchy of Blood Fiends, which is pretty interesting, right? A lot of lore getting dropped. As you can see, a lot of lore and a lot of dialogue.
하긴 카세트라는 녀석.
Talk with the cassette guy, and he was like very low. He was like maybe like here, like what is third kindred, fourth kindred?
많다라는 거.
Yeah, no, he was terrible. Yeah, absolutely packed up. Just telling you that the higher ups are better, and
제일 아래에
Right.
있는 피주머니가
which makes sense. And then they have blood bags. Will we ever get a blood bag ID? I don't know. But an ID that I would really rock with is a Santana ID, right? I know we won't ever get one because he's too far off of a human. He's not human. He's never been human, so we won't get an ID for him, for any of the gnomes either. But I'm honestly really surprised if we didn't get a Cloud Town ID in this newest Christmas update, because it just rehashed old and added a bit new, like 2 new egos.
뭐라? 그럼
And it could have had a
물을
Cloud Town ID.
들고
I mean, that would have been
쉽게
so
처리할 수 있는
solid.
거야?
It would have been interesting, right? An ID that inflicts bind and poise like, we don't really have many bind IDs. We have Full Staff Office Honglu. He looks like a bind every now and then. We have Maid Ryoshu. She does bind. We have Red Eyes. Ryoshu doing bind on skill 3.5. We have, right? Not very much, honestly. Not a lot of very solid bind IDs. I mean, I believe that Butler Otis has to have some kind of bind in her kit, right? I'm pretty sure Nelly did. I mean, although Nelly is Ryoshu, yeah, so she does have bind. Who is Otis? No, Otis just based off some maid,
더 말해줄 거 없어?
which is fair enough, I guess. Oh, speaking of those two, man, it's crazy. Giving Echoes of the Manor to like a 2-star and an ego that is very not particularly good is such a heartbreaking thing. Like, for example, you see like those things that the Hyoshu branches have, right?
뭐야?
They have their special little inscriptions, like, which is very solid. I mean, those are right. I'm not complaining about those. I'm complaining about having give me a 2-star, having an effect that goes to a 2-star, a 3-star, and then an ego. I get the ego, that's fair, that's very fair, and I get the 3-star, that's very fair. The 2-star is also fair, but to an extent, which is like most people aren't going to use the 2-star over a 3-star. Although I get that it's like a very brain dense sentiment to say if you have a 2-star that has it, a 3-star has to have it as well. At the same time, it still stands. Like, give another ID the Echoes of the Manor. Like, even if it's like Earl King Heathcliff upon an ally's death, or upon an ally doing something, they afflict that as well. Like, that'd be good, but it's not. Realistically, only Butler, Otis, and that ego. That ego, they're not going to use that ego. It's pretty mediocre. Like, it's a little bit of sinking. Like, yeah, you could, but at the same time, are you going to use that ego over like a skill 2 or a skill 3 that inflicts sinking, that more sinking? I really don't think so. I couldn't imagine it. Yeah, Camille, that's his name. That is, I don't know, man. I can only wonder how long he's gonna survive in the LaMancha Land, because I mean, he's pretty strong. I mean, if the battle was anything to go off of, if the ID that he has for Merceau is anything to go off, he's not weak. He's not terrible, but he's definitely gonna be caught off guard probably, and yeah, gonna be rough. Speaking of rough, I'm training in the battle. I'm trying to test on my newest Gregor ID, which is very, very solid. I mean, I haven't seen it in action, but if it's anything to judge by what he does, you know, maybe he's not. Maybe he's terrible unless he's up type 4, which I kind of doubt, but, you know, might be true. There he mentions Honglu's eye, which is interesting. I mean, he has 2 different color eyes, which I would imagine probably has something to do with his canto. Perhaps something similar to what happened with, not exactly what happened to Cromer, but she saw something and then saw an abnormality and then she kind of went, was she an abnormality? Did she see a mirror? Ooh, that's a good question. I don't entirely remember, but potato, same difference, right? Saw something and then drove her to pursue that mirror world, which is interesting. It was an L-Corp branch. I mean, I don't believe that they'd have any mirror technology. You know, maybe. I highly doubt it, though. Right, if they did, they'd probably just bring back, like, a mirror Carmen. I mean, even, they tried to, but, like, making Angela, and that just didn't work out. So they did that, and they found mirror technology. I feel like by then they learned that that's not really what's gonna do anything. But, I don't know, at the same time, perhaps. But I really don't see LaMancha Corporation having access to like the mirror technology. with all of its nitty-gritty stuff. Maybe, but probably not. I mean, that really that was an abnormality. So that really makes the question. She really was on about Ancorp has access to the mirror technology through Yusang's buddy. Yeah, so she did that, and then she partnered up with Ancorp after she saw the nothing there, probably something like that, a nothing there apparition, which is pretty fair. I mean, those nothing there would definitely probably fit Cromer's whole shtick about humanity, which is, I mean, okay, then you wonder, okay, about humanity, what would Ancorp think about like blood fiends and distortions in general? Is the question. They don't like prosthetics, they don't like this, they don't like that, but what if you become the purest form of yourself and distort? Or you gain ego? That's also a very good question. What does Ancorp think about ego if they found out? Holy Yabba sink. Which is a very good question. Like, if Ancorp did get in the nitty-gritty about ego, which a lot of people haven't, like, no one really knows about ego, besides, like, the very few who manifest it, which canonically is, like, Limbus company, and, like, 3 people from Library of Ruina, and I can only guess, like, maybe grand total, like, 6 people, 7 people, maybe, from, like, all the novels. But even then, it's like half the people in the library forgot about it. Even then, though, like, you would assume that Xiao could unlock it, like, whenever we see her next, I would say, but I don't know if we would need to see Xiao, or if we even have any reason for that to happen. Like, I highly doubt it, but it might happen. I mean, maybe for like well, what we're just nights, it could. I don't know how that would play into the story, and maybe we'll be in like a district that has that happen. Even though I do not think that any district we're going to is going to have that. Well, maybe Ryoshu's, perchance. I kind of doubt that any burn will be in Ryoshu's chapter, to be honest with you. I mean, that's going to be like a bleed canto, 100%. You know, maybe it's going to be the long lost, the long fabled paralysis canto. We can only hope, really. I mean, I'm hoping it. Paralysis is so... We need... Where's their, like, self-paralysis ideas? That is the question. Negative quantities that inflict paralysis on themselves. But they don't... They wouldn't lose power, they would just gain power on tails. Like, that's the kind of direction I would go with a... Like, yeah, they'd be losing sanity, but not, like, enough. It'd be like Foxcliff sanity loss. But you would be having paralysis, and you would just be doing more for, like, tails. You wouldn't be doing less for heads. You'd have, like, not a very good rolls with heads, but you wouldn't instantly lose if you rolled heads, like you would a negative quantity. When you go, you wouldn't go to 0. You go to like 3 or 4 and then like 5, right? Like that wouldn't be bad. That would be very solid. And back on the Cloud Town rant, because I got distracted, right? Having a bind and a poison, we don't really have that yet. I mean, we kind of do with Maid Ryoshu, but that's not particularly it. I mean, she mainly focuses on her own little self-status and potential AoE, which is very solid. I mean, thinking about that, Maid Ryoshu is a very solid ID. Huh. You know, she's very solid. I mean, I feel like she wasn't given enough credit, and she's quite underrated. I mean, the same thing with Butler Faust. very underrated IDs, which there actually seems to be quite a bit in Heathcliff's canto.
저희와
And I say quite a bit, but there's like two,
괜찮을 때가 오면
maybe three. I mean,
하고 싶은 걸
Merceau
묻는 거예요.
is pretty decent for Rupture. Dead Rabbit Merceau is pretty decent for Rupture, but speaking of which, I'm really shocked that we only got one Dead Rabbit. I mean, it was a 2-star, which, considering that they were like 90% of the, like 80% of the enemies we fought in that canto, maybe like 60% of the enemies we fought, maybe like 40%. And well, you get what I'm saying in that canto, but even then. Alright, we're back, and that was pretty tragic, but at least give me some time to recollect. And I did a mirror dungeon. I low-key forgot to bring in the Gregor, which is awfully brutal, but not as brutal as current situation with Nova Online. I hate him, but he's kind of the goat of lockouts right now. I mean, who else do we have? We have Tofia, but Tofia's boring at the moment. We have Daniel Larson's locked up. We have Joshua Blockman. He is so, like, people are like going on about Italian brain rot.
아까부터 보이지 않으시더라고요.
I think Joshua Block, if you're still watching Joshua Block, you are on a lower level than Italian brain rot fans. And I think that's just true. Like, who? There's only so many. You put the fries in that bag. You can, like, only how much times you can see that before it gets old. Like, yeah, it's kind of funny when he tries to make songs like, oh honey, honey, and he can't sing, and it's brutal. But it's that's one thing. But it's a whole different thing when it's like not even that. Just going around Las Vegas like with a bunch of people again. Come on, right? Throwing little tiger cubs around. Like, yeah, how is he not got his face being in yet? Like, he's going to all these relatively foreign places too, like Japan. I mean, Japan, I get it, Japan not happening there. They're a very respectful culture. I mean, maybe I'm not like the expert on Japan. I can't say I'm one of those people who wanted to go to Japan once they graduated. I cannot relate to that. But back on Noah, the same guy who wants to wants to make love to Christian is after Nova, and Nova's kind of rocking with it. And am I surprised? No, because Nova doesn't get any play besides minors and bait. That's kind of the sad truth of it. I say sad truth, but Nova just rots in his filth. I mean, he says he's gonna house clean Saga, but he shows his house a tiny bit pretty recently, and it's just rough, man. It is so rough. All over. He has like a fan beside him. He has a fan, a barricade in his door, mountains of clothing. It is just not the play at all. And he's eating lunchly. Right, eating lunch, like, my last lunchy video did pretty well, so we're gonna be doing another lunchy video. And I like my cheese drippy, but this isn't drippy, this is sticky. I like my cheese drippy, bruh. Like, Nova, man. Oh, and in that video he wears a My Hero Academia shirt. I mean, you could say no hate to My Hero Academia fans, but then we'll go so far, because, like, be honest, they're pretty bad. I mean, in the earlier seasons, yeah, it was probably pretty banger. I mean, I like the tower system. That was pretty interesting, like genetic-based abilities. I rock with that, but it's Deku, man. It's too much. It's just too much. And then now they have like a little spin-off, and what a shocker! The main character is just Deku with a quirk. Well, like what a really. Oh. They like their character types, I'll say that much. But what I would like would definitely be a blue star ego. No, I would love one that is an ID, but I really don't think we're going to be getting any ALF IDs any day soon, anytime soon, until we're easily past all the cantos revolving the centers and into the Inferno, I suppose. Which is what people theorize is going to happen next. Which makes sense. I mean, we don't really know why Dante went to that little gate of hell to resurrect the sinners like the first time he did it.
괜히 초조하게
But I mean, it probably.
지침을
I mean,
끌어댈 필요는 없습니다.
the last thing's gonna be Faust, but even with Faust getting whatever, I don't know if that's gonna be completing Dante's
무슨 일이 일어났는지
memory
제가
returnal.
모를 거로
I really don't think so.
생각하십니다.
Which is definitely gonna leave a lot more to happen, which is pretty W. I mean, obviously, live service game, they're gonna have to keep this going, but how long can they keep it like Dante from gaining his memories? Which probably gonna be a while, but it could not be too long.
돈키호테 씨의 정체가 뭐냐고
Which
모르시는데.
I don't know, but
스스로 알아낼 수 있는 답이
very
대부분입니다.
interesting ideas
그다지
about when he's gonna get it
실용적이지
back.
못한 선택입니다. 그보다 더 중요한 질문이 있습니다.
And
가령
no,
앞으로
I
3번
hope we get a battle.
수감자가
I know we get a battle somewhat soon, because we're gonna enter LaMancha Land somewhat soon. Yeah, it's Dawn's turn.
너무 이머진 걸 보니
I don't know. Once again, I'm not too deep into this canto. I know that like we enter LaMancha Land. I got like into LaMancha Land, and that is about it. I mean, realistically, anyone who's watching this probably knows more about it than I do at the moment. As I am, how many months late? I'm not even sure. I'm a canto late. In fact, I am a full canto behind, which is amazing. Is really amazing. Just means I'm gonna go through this with relative ease, right? Better IDs, because the power skill is dubious. But speaking of a blue star ID, ego that I was saying, I really hope they do it in a way that it isn't sinking. I know it has to be sinking, but I really do believe that it would just be more interesting if it's like a sanity-based thing, not sinking, but just sanity-based, and perhaps even like a rupture. Does a special rupture that I'm not really sure if an enemy goes crazy or like a rupture effect that would do something to sanity, that would, or tremor I meant, doing a tremor effect that would do something to sanity would be interesting. It would definitely synergize the two groups, because I don't think we have any. That is a lie. Is it? More Ishmael maybe. More Ishmael might be the bond between the gap. Oh yeah, we were like halfway through this and then it just cut off. That was really great. Where are we at? I genuinely don't know. But Dawn glazing, as always. Even though it is pretty fair, I mean, this is a relatively interesting turn of events. All these different fixture offices coming together. Even the Hana's here, which is kind of shocking, all things considered. I know this is like moving up really rapidly, and it's affecting the P Corp singularity, which is probably a lot of eyes, for lack of better terms. A lot of eyes on it. And Hana going up there makes some sense if you look at it that way, but at the same time, very, maybe not particularly. I mean, I wouldn't imagine Hana's like all too caring about these like corporations and their like singularity. I mean, surely P Corp singularity isn't just the houses that can get destroyed by a blood fiend's something. I mean, I would imagine the head honcho was a blood fiend. I kind of don't know, and honestly, I don't really know. I would imagine blood fiend can like manifest, but it is all out of blood, so maybe it is. But it's also like a portal. I don't know. I mean, blood fiends don't really have teleportation, for as far as I know. I don't know. Maybe the Source Detective gave them that ability, but for all I know, they don't have that. But they do have a lot of abilities. Like, I wonder if, realistically, if an Arbiter, if they became a blood fiendified, like, Not like one of the, like, the lower ones or the blood bag. Like, if they became like a third, second kindred, if they would be, how strong they would be. Like, just how crazy they'd be. Would they lose strength? Would they lose their arbiter powers? 'Cause we really don't know all too much about arbiters and like their powers yet. I'm sure this could be just explored later on. I would imagine probably around like, I don't know, like Otis's canto is what I'd have to say. Which is not, it was just a little bit far away, but all things considered, not that far away. I mean, who do we have next? Next is probably, I think next would definitely be Ryoshu, definitely. I mean, I know there's a Sinner's orders, so I could check it, but that's just gonna be a little theory, because it would make sense that we encounter Merceau, which is from N-Corp, and go to N-Corp like almost last, since the main villains are working with N-Corp, whether that be Ahab joining Carmen. Isn't her name Carmen? Yeah, her name is Carmen. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. We're finally there. We are finally here. Okay. Now. The moment truth. Do I want to have him in the front? I think I'll rock with
지휘를
A.
받는 건 오랜만이네요.
Relatively similar little to what I was doing before.
명을 받든
Just have him before these guys though. And take him Merceau. I know he helps with the rupture, but at the same time, is that really necessary? Because we already have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, only 3. I could definitely replace Yisang with, where is he? Yeah, I could replace Yisang with a Go, right? And get some nice passives going. But at the same time, I don't think I do that, because Solomon Yisang is just too good. You know, I hear a lot of glaze about the Ring Yisang, and I agree. It is very solid. His skill 2 is probably the best skill 2 in Limbus Company. His skill 1 is very solid. In the Mirror Dungeon especially. I know it's not as good as it was anymore in the Mirror Dungeon, but it still is fairly solid. Ooh, great. Okay, you know what? Let's see what it is like without any... Go, let's see turn 1. Skill 3, oh my goodness, 8 damage, that is crazy, but they might be resistant to it. Resistant to slash, maybe? No. Endure just, yeah, okay, well... I don't remember, is he... Okay, yeah, see, he's starting to stack stuff up. And that's intro, right? Slash. Pierce. Okay, he had no reason to be resistant to that then. Yeah. No, they're all endured to slash, norm to everything else. That's... Although, to be fair, it does get way stronger. So, that's understandable, but still, this is a very, very solid, like, counter. Classical guard, I guess, right? Gain 3 servant hand next turn. That is honestly worth doing over skill 1. But does he have skill 1? No, because none of these guys have skill that isn't a 1 and 2 and 3 in their little slots. You know, skill 2 is looking very solid. It has worse. The best case is still worse than the best case for like someone like W Ryoshu, which is strange that W Ryoshu is still in the meta. But I mean, would you want to run W Ryoshu over the Hyoshu Rabbit Ryoshu? I don't think so. But that is definitely a question. Would you want to run her over Maid Ryoshu? That is also a question. The answer is 110% maybe, most likely, probably. Right?
깔끔한 헤드샷.
That does 124. This does, who knows? Like, that's just 100 on a crit. Like, and he's built up crit so quickly.
적군들에게 본때를 보여줘도
Like,
될 것 같은데?
11 and 7, and this is 3 and 2. Like this.
와리를 튼 뱀 근처엔 오지
Okay,
말랬잖아.
what does that do again? Gain 3 points next turn, and base. Yeah, on base attack, skill use. If target is rupture, gain 5. Okay. Oh. Okay, so never mind. I am absolutely tweaking. So we want. Oh, maybe we. Do we want to replace Yi Sang? Maybe we do, because Blood Fiends aren't really going to be. I mean, these are blood bags. If Blood Fiends do have sanity, then it would be maybe in our best interest to replace him. At the same time, though, it doesn't particularly matter. I mean, you never want to min-max, which I kind of do, just so Gregor get the most. And I would have been able to do that. I would have done that if I could have sharded or pulled
방금 건 제대로 한
the rodeo,
건
but I couldn't have,
돌아가면 맥주라도
which
사야겠다.
sucks. Oh my goodness, I have skill 3 again. I didn't use it. Well, I did use it, but they're not going to survive long enough. That is so heartbreaking. Right? No, maybe. Yeah, no, they're not. That is. Oh my goodness. But like. Oh my goodness, yes. That's 120. I mean, not bad. Not bad. I mean, it probably wasn't the best it could have been, but it's not bad. That's like a decent. That's like a very solid skill 2 from Heathcliff, and a very bad skill 3 from Heathcliff. But it's saying that though, he still did the most damage. So comparing things to Heathcliff is not very fair, as he's also one of the better IDs in the game right now. But still, right? All right, we're pumping this. Oh yeah, blood. Do they have sanity? Yes, they do. Okay, so maybe it is worth keeping him in. But who would we take out? I don't think anybody would be worth taking out for Marcel. Like, you would think, oh, surely you would think taking Yi, but right? A lot of, like, just very good in general. Good coins, good clashing, good damage. And he does sinking, right? It's always nice to have a little bit of sinking in your team. Alright, like, this canto might not be the best for sinking, but it's not the worst, because Blood Fiends still do get sunken.
방금 벌레 말은 듣지 않다는 사람 누구야?
Sunken. Yeah, that's a waste. Put an adjective on it. Although, one ID doing sinking might not make the biggest difference, but if it's mostly Blood Fiends, then it still would be good. But I think it's mostly blood bags until like later on, which doesn't necessarily make too much of a difference.
방금 건 제대로 한 건 했어.
Inflicting fragile on themselves is such a strange thing. Here's like another, like, look at this. Deathrite Haste. Deathrite Venom. Like, Yao Shoot is having so much work put into them. Gotta be my favorite, like, section of IDs. Right? I know this one's probably better, realistically, because it's way bit easier to meet the conditional. Although if you run like a full Rupture team, maybe the Gregor would be better. I would imagine. In Mirror Dungeon, I'd say Gregor is probably better, but right? Like, they're the same. Realistically, that's not true. He might just have a worse skill 1. Yeah, he has a worse skill 1. he can get... No, he just has a worse skill 1. Skill 2 is better. Just is better. Skill 3. You know, I hate to say it, but I think his skill 3 is just kind of worse. All things considered, it's just kind of worse than their skill 3. But it's nice to see Rupture units getting a lot of money, because especially for Gregor, right? Gregor ID being a Rupture focused ID is very solid, considering like half of Gregor ID egos do something with Rupture. Whether that be Fey Lantern, passive, whether that be Ledger Domain, whether that be Certainly One Day, whether that be does AEDD inflict Rupture? Yes it does, because it inflicts that status effect, which I don't even have. That's so great. But I do have Ledger Domain, which is also fills up Ledger Domain pretty well. Having skill 2 with Gluttony. He can't fill himself because he doesn't have any slaw, which I believe Ledger Domain uses, which I'll check in a second. But I do believe it uses slaw, I would imagine. And this Blood Fiend doesn't seem too strong. Oh, what? Wait, he did an animation. Okay, maybe I should really read what he does. Because he did a little nifty animation there. But if nothing else, he's still very nice for his effects. And it's just nice to see like 1 billion different effects on enemies. See, he must have been doing something right, because he won that instantly. And then back to the 1 billion years of dialogue. Which, I mean, I like, right? I like the lore. But at the same time, holy moly, is it rough? Is it rough? See, yeah, still, who did? Like, where did he fall?
저놈들 무기까지 주어서 철수하자고.
Okay, right? Maybe he's not that bad. Please tell me, please. Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, not the dialogue, because for some reason you can't see the dialogue when you redo battle notes, which is kind of stupid. It really is stupid that that's the case. But right? How much do you get? You get 1 unopposed, so there's like no use doing block. There's no use using defense. I do like their designs though. All fancy and dapper. Which is a little, if you recall, which you might not, because I didn't really go over it. Blood Fiends are like ancient, because like the blood samples found in LaMancha Land are old, which I think it tells you that maybe one of the battle nodes. It's old. LaMancha Land is old, so that's why they're dressing all old-fashioned attire, all fancy. I'm not quite sure if they all wear masks. I mean, we'll find that out. What is happening with this broski? I don't know. But what I do know is, like, coagulated blood is such a strange thing. There's so much effects that are just on enemies and on egos. They just aren't on sinners or anything like that. Like maggots would be very so. Maggots would be very solid to have on like a sinner. Like, give us a Ledger Domain ID. Like, that would be actually very, very solid. Like, give him an AoE skill 3, like 2 or 3, like 2 AoE. 2 or 3 AoE. I think 3 AoE would be a little bit too powerful, but make him a bleed tremor ID. Right? Bleed tremor ISD sounds so great, because we don't have any bleed tremor synergy that I can think of off the top of my head. Wait, what is he? Oh, yeah. Serpent. Sorry, yeah, he summons the snake. But, okay, yeah, he's kind of building up. Okay, he's matching with Heathcliff, which is kind of crazy. Maybe I didn't give him enough credit. So what does it do? Students have Serpent Iron Coin Power +1 for every 5 sum. Potency, turret. Okay. Wait, so it's just way better with Serpent Arm. Gain 3 Serpent Arm. Yes, okay. With 5 Rupture and gain 5 Poise. You know, it's not that bad, actually. You know, now I'm really looking at it. Really? Wow, okay. You know what? We'll use that, man. Alright, it's a guard. And we're not gonna win. This is what guards are for. Right? The mythical guard use, which you never have to see. I say it's not that bad, it's pretty good, but then you see Heathcliff doing casual like 300 counts, which is like a little bit crazy. Like calling doing 184, and calling Heathcliff to do like a skill 2, which will do like 100 damage, which is kind of nasty, right? That's why these two are so essential. Not essential, but they are so meta. So meta. And that's why I'm not too pressed that I didn't get Reindeer. I mean, he looks great. He is great. He's a very good ID. Very good ID. And very accessible. As he is in the standard fare, I believe. So he's definitely more accessible than other of these. But if you can, and if you have them, I see no reason why you wouldn't just use them instead of Reindeer. I mean, unless you're running a specifically sinking charge team, which there isn't. I mean, he does some sinking, so it'd just be more or less a sinking. Like charge has some synergy with each other. Like there are sections of like W core that most of W core does inflict rupture in some sort of way. Then you have Rhino who does bleed, which is there's only one Rhino, and that's kind of ridiculous. I mean, I get it. There's only one rabbit, there's only one Rhino, and for the longest time there only was one Reindeer. But we have Rhino Gregor literally in art. Like that's right. Give us another Rhino, give us another rabbit. Like another rabbit. A modern day Limbus company rabbit would break the game. Unironic. Having an ID that bases on speed. Did Rabbit even really use charge? I'm sure he must have. Did he? No, that's actually such a good question. Did Rabbit really use charge? Because now I'm thinking about it, I don't think I remember anything about Rabbit in charge. I mean, it was earlier in Limbus Company, so I didn't have that much of an idea of how to team build just yet. But I think I would imagine that I would remember something in charge. I could, as something charge, he gains speed, haste, but what is it, like skill 2 maybe? Gave charge. He didn't have many skills that gave charge, which was odd. Hopefully, in Uptide 5, they make it so that he can use at least one coin. Oh man, if they make Uptide 5 and Rabbit can't reload, or can't do like at least one coin where he does melee, then I don't know. It's a scam. That's all I'm saying. Now what other Uptide 5s would I like to see? And that's a good question. Perhaps. Oh yes, G-Corp Gregor. They need to add G-Corp Gregor where his skill 3 at X. Oh my goodness. We're so back. At his Uptide 3, he would do, or at his Uptide 5, his skill 3 would be not consuming Rupture at X, potency X count, right? Okay. Fantasy blood shooting range. For the little ones, so hold tight with your mom and daddy's hands. Wonder if we get the fashion show attraction. Really retarded that, so please pay a visit and pick up your souvenir gift. God, Sancho. Jesus, swoop me. What are they staring at? Your grace. Well, I'll give you a few souvenirs here. Lady Dulcia. You just won't stop teasing me about how my attraction doesn't get a lot of visitors.
뭐야?
뭐가 이렇게 허접해?
I really do rock like the LaMancha Land theme in general.
그거 아세요?
Oh, we're probably gonna go against some people who use like I'd say range, but realistically, what would be the difference besides animation? Like they're not gonna have ammo. Maybe they will. You know, actually that would be so interesting. Get like Blood Fiend ID that uses bleed on enemy, like takes bleed, triggers the bleed on enemy on hit, and reduces the count by like let's say 2, but does like 1 bleed tick, but then gains some sort of ammo, and then his skill 2 at X ammo does something and spends ammo, and skill 3 perhaps also does that. Lemons humor weren't as friendly as we are today. How sad and tragic. Well, today, I mean, as if they're anything better today. I do like that guy's posture though. That's kind of like me right now, to be honest. Today, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hatred like cats and dogs. Every minute is all ding and a big brawl. Blood fiends hunted down every human they saw, while humans returned blood fiends' appetite for human blood with hatred of their kind. Oh no. Oh no. The bad blood fiends are trying to eat those humans. Whatever shall we do? Whatever shall we do? Talk them out of it? Wrong answer. Think of it again. Who's next? Hark. Thus be punished with impunity, and they may never hurt the humans. Correct. Okay, shh. Very well then, here's your chance to defeat those bad blood fiends. How sprawlingly exciting is this? In that land, there won't be any wearisome battles to fight, no constant fear of getting devoured. There shall be only laughter. LaMancha Land. Very W, little art, right? You know, I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan that every single thing was red, but it's kind of growing on me. It really is. You have any new guys in there? No. Ooh. Blood shooting. On death, blood feast plus 30. Gain 2 ego resources of at least 1 ego. All allies gain 0.1 to all physical resistances. This effect cannot stack. Physical resistance. Okay. Well, are they gonna serve for blood for a long time? Lose defense level, lose offense level. And withered. Really? That's what? Wow. Wait, they probably do something if they do something on you though, right? Withered on a counter. Coagulated blood. And no, not really. Wow. You know, I get it. I get it, Gregor's under-leveled. But he's only under-leveled by like 4 levels, all like realistically. So why? So why, may I ask you, is he being clobbered? Why? I'm trying so hard to love this Gregor ID, but it's, I don't know. It's pushing me in 2 different directions. I can tell it's gonna be crazy for mirror dungeons, and really insanely good for rupture teams for like long-term fights. But maybe we're just not at the place where it shines. There's a chance he'll blow me away in a place that he shines. Where I was really assuming he would be the better of the 2, better than Rodion, but I was wrong. I was oh so wrong. And that's kind of surprising. I didn't know Rodion was gonna have the 3 AoE, but besides that, I don't know. I didn't think she was gonna have anything too much better than him. But it's also been a minute since we had an AoE ID, right? I mean, I say that, but at the same time, literally the last banner had an ID with the exact same thing, which is fairly rough. All things
방금껏
considered.
제대로 안 꺼냈어. 돌아가면
Right.
맥주라도 사야겠는걸?
See, now he's getting stacks, but it's like, I don't know. It's just not quick enough. Where by the time Gregor gets 3 potency, Heathcliff has 10 and 7 count when he has 2 count. Like, this is not fair at all. Not even in the slightest. You know, maybe Gregor's just good for spamming out skill 3s. I mean, that might be it, honestly. No, that is it. Wait, that might... No, that is it. Okay, wait. Hold on. I think I get the meta. I think that Hyoshu... Okay, I think I literally just get... Okay. No. Alright, I get the whole archetype now. Okay. So, what you're going to want to do is with the Hyoshus is you're going to want to use their skill 3 as soon as you can. As you see, his skill 3, he gains a lot of the Serpent's Hand, but he also gains Poise. And he also puts Rupture on the enemy, so then he'll also be doing a bit more damage instantly. And he'll also be inflicting a bit of death ray. So I think this is like what you want to use instantly. But surely Heathcliff won't lose a clash. I think he will. No, he didn't. That's kind of a shocker, but not really a shock at the same time. In the same breath, I would even say. I think Gregor loses. He used the skill 2 and he's lost. That is very, very, very weird. You see them using skill 1 and they're just fine. But Gregor uses skill 2? No. And now he's getting targeted. But he has a defense counter. So you would assume he has a lot of health, but no. That isn't the case. Perhaps he has some kind of crazy passive that I don't realize. Charles Jelly do 5% damage for every 6%. Okay, that's not terrible. If the unit has down to... If the unit reduces target stack to 0, gain pierce damage up next turn, maximum 2. That's not bad. And every turn comes to apply 2 poise on... So substituting identities, early split. Substituting. Oh. Greg, that's not good. That is... Are we gonna have to ego? Okay, wait, maybe it's just because it's getting harder, actually. Maybe it's just because the difficulty is actually ramping. But that is fine. Because both of them are staggered. I mean, I know Vera's getting hit more. But that's just RNG. They both lost clashes. But thankfully, AoE egos to the rescue. You know, I believe this is such an underrated ego. Yasunara on Heathcliff. Otis' one is pretty mediocre, but Heathcliff's one, it's a great AoE, not the most expensive for what it does, and it has not the worst roll for a 3 AoE either. No way my first Sinner Death is going to be Gregor. There's literally no way. Speaking of underrated egos, this is probably... You know, I joke about Screw this wall. This is the most underrated ego in Limbus Company. Right? It's like Fluid Sack level of sanity gain with better than Fluid Sack clashing and a solid base. Wow, okay. That's great. Gregor is defeated. Okay. You know,
듣기만 해도 아프네.
Huh.
관리자 양반.
I'm not really worried, but
빈박질 중.
maybe I need to stop hitting win rates.
아직
And maybe that would help. I could have probably egoed for Gregor. Maybe. I mean, I won't need to. Obviously. We have Honglu
마무리를. 오케이.
and Heathcliff tagged. Oh my, right? 264. What is that? Like, what is that? That's just ridiculous. Now, I'm sure you kiddos are most excited for this part of the attraction. Welcome to today's I'm the area's fixer attraction. When a bad looking appears, use these toys and clubs we hand to you directly at their entrance and knock them down. Or else play too. Now, beat the stress out of your system. No, we don't need blood feeds pretending to be like those fake ones. Toy clubs hurt, not anymore. Only the real blood fiends remain here now. Interesting. So what's the fake ones? Sure they're not talking about humans. I would imagine probably not. I mean, they could just be talking about the cutouts, but they're still there. But maybe there were humans there at one time. I kind of doubt it. I kind of really doubt it.
그 정도 화력으로 우리 사무소를 막을
But
수
it
있을
could
줄
just be
알았냐?
the truth. But
저놈들 무기까지 줘서
that
철수하자고.
is about it. You know, not bad. Not bad. We got through it pretty easily, right? Nothing crazy. And only had trouble with this one, which is fair. I mean, it was a lot of waves. And my Gregor, honestly, I don't really know what I think about Gregor. He's not bad. He's not great either, though. I imagine you want to use his skill 3. But he has such a not good skill 1. Or maybe it's just, I don't have him under leveled. I know that for certain. He's level 41, there's no way. But it's just, in his, like, what would I even gain if I uptied you to 4? Again, a bit more coin power, 200%, 100% damage. That might be worth it. And oh, okay, maybe it is really worth it to uptie him, but I don't have enough at the moment. I will in him pretty soon because I almost am done a mirror dungeon, but that is all she wrote. Yeah, so far going pretty good and not too bad, but yeah, that's about it. Have a good one.